Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our 50th anniversary celebration, One Light, One Destiny. My name is Anand Singh, a member of the Brahma Kumaris for the past 33 years, and I will be your chairperson this evening. This is quite a beautiful view. I just want to acknowledge any members, honorable members of parliament, any members of the diplomatic corps, Sister Jayanti, our guest, additional administrative head of the Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual Organization, Dr. Sister Himlata, spiritual head of the Brahma Kumaris Trinidad and Tobago, and the sub-regional coordinator of the Brahma Kumaris Caribbean region, Sister Jasmine, President of the Brahma Kumaris Trinidad and Tobago, and all of you wonderful invitees, religious leaders, members of the IRO, educators, medical professionals, business leaders, community representatives, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very special welcome to this evening. We are delighted to have you with us to celebrate our 50 years of service. Before we go further, I would like to invite you to spend a few moments in silence, in creating thoughts of peace, in creating thoughts of goodness, humanity, and brotherhood. For a few moments, let's just spend that in silence. Thank you very much. Before we go further into our program, of course, the comfort and safety of all our guests are important. So we invite your attention to the safety protocols from the Queen's Hall.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Queen's Hall Winifred Atwell Auditorium. We are making every effort to ensure that your theatre experience is safe and comfortable. Please take this time to listen to the following announcements. Eating and drinking are not allowed in the auditorium. Smoking is not allowed in the building. Flash photography and any unauthorized audio or video recordings are strictly prohibited. In case of an emergency, an announcement will be made. You will immediately but calmly proceed to any of our 4 exits closest to you. 2 exits are located on the left and right lower hall. These exits will lead to the east and west emergency exits. Once through these exits, you will be required to move away from the building and assemble at the muster point furthest end of the south car park. The other 2 exits are located on the left and right upper level of the hall. Individuals exiting through the upper level will be required to move along the corridor, down the front stairwell toward the lobby area, and through the front entrance to assemble at the muster point to the furthest end of the south car park. In the event of an earthquake, if you are inside the auditorium, you are advised to lean forward or hold on to the seat in front of you or next to you. Please remain in your position. After the shaking has ended, the usher will guide you to exit the building as quickly and safely as possible. If you require any assistance, please seek the attention of the Queen's Hall's ushers. They will be more than willing to assist you. At this time, please put all cell phones on silent. Thank you, and again, welcome to Winifred Atwell Auditorium.
Thank you, Queen's Hall. May I also now ask you to stand for the national anthem? Thank you. You may take your seats. Today it's about celebration, it's about reflection, it's about commemoration, it's about 50 years, it's about half a century. It's quite a milestone. And with every celebration, it's always appropriate to start with some rhythm and energy through dance. So I would like to invite Nalini Akal and Rachel Lee to perform a dance to the Golden Time. Nalini is a popular and versatile artist. She's currently the director of N9 Dance and also on the board of the Little Carib Theatre. Like many of you who are friends and supporters and contacts of the Brahma Kumaris, she has indicated that her friendship with the Brahma Kumaris has influenced her life profoundly. And Rachel Lee has been dancing for the past 48 years, teaching for 17 of those. She's studied many genres of dance and has an ability to fuse them into contemporary expression through theater. Let's put our hands together and welcome Nalini Akal and Rachel Lee.
Asleep, don't know when you woke me up at the end. I fell asleep, don't know when you woke me up at the end. Lights are on, the darkness is gone, standing right in the middle. I have my peace of mind. This is my time to shine. This is my golden time. Lost and I didn't even know it. Dimly lit the path, I chose it. It's a drama, it's a play, like the phases of a day. I have to shine. This is my golden time. Cycles spin, the stages unfold, costumes change, but not the actors, I am told. Going home, time for peace. Through the gates, I am free. Lights will lead the way for us, standing right in the middle. I have my peace of mind. This is my time to shine. This is my golden time. Lost and I didn't even know it. With the path I chose it. It's a drama, it's a play, like the phases of a day. I have my peace of mind. This is my time to shine. This is my golden
Thank you, Nalini and Rachel, for that beautiful rendition. This is our time. This is our time to shine. What a wonderful message for our One Light, One Destiny commemoration this evening. As we go further into the program, we may ask ourselves, who are the Brahma Kumaris? Like, you know, the Raj Yoga centers in Trinidad, you've seen the sisters. Who are these people who meditate, who are walking around in their whites, teaching across the country? So we have a video presentation prepared for you to give you a short insight into who are the Brahma Kumaris. So we'll run that for you now.
The Brahma Kumaris is a worldwide organization dedicated to personal transformation and world renewal through the power of meditation. The Brahma Kumaris is a spiritual movement which was founded in Hyderabad, Pakistan in the 1930s, with its spiritual headquarters in Mount Abu, India. The Brahma Kumaris comprises a worldwide network of centers in over 110 countries and territories. There are currently estimated to be around 1 million students. It provides spiritual education and reflective practices for people from diverse cultural backgrounds. The Brahma Kumaris' real commitment is to help individuals transform their perspective of the world from material to spiritual. It supports the cultivation of a deep collective consciousness of peace and of the individual dignity of each soul. In the year 1980, the Brahma Kumaris connected with the United Nations as an international non-governmental organization. At a national level, activities are generally coordinated by local people in alignment with the spiritual principles of the Brahma Kumaris, working in accordance with the laws of the land. Activities of international interest are coordinated regionally from the Brahma Kumaris offices in London, Moscow, Nairobi, New York, and Sydney. The Brahma Kumaris can also be found in the Caribbean. In 1975, the light of the Brahma Kumaris touched down in Guyana, then to Barbados, Trinidad, Suriname, and ABC Islands, continually expanding its wings to higher and newer grounds and in new territories in the Caribbean, until almost all countries today are covered with this light of peace. In 1976, the Brahma Kumaris was established in Trinidad and Tobago. The spiritual head office is 55 to 57 Pointe-a-Pierre Road, San Fernando. And the national coordinating office is number 1 Edinburgh Gardens, Chaguanas. There are branches at number 6 St. John's Road, St. Augustine. Number 24 Agra Street, St. James, Port of Spain. Number 9 Picton Road, Sangre Grande. And number 68 St. John's Trace, Avocat, Faizabad. There are also sub-centers in Woodland and Rio Claro. All centers use the basic core curriculum of the foundation course in meditation to suit their environment and scenarios, such as Foundation Course in Meditation, Building Self-Esteem, Positive Thinking, Spiritual Capacity Building, Building Resilience Sessions, Anger Management. The centers in Trinidad can be contacted via Facebook, Gmail, WhatsApp, Instagram, and you can view our programs on our YouTube channel, Chaguanas Brahma Kumaris. Om Shanti.
For the Brahma Kumaris, light not only represents the light of God, but it also symbolizes the awakening of our highest values and the recognition of our own inner light that exists within every human being. When we light a lamp, we are reminded that a single flame has the power to dispel darkness. In the same way, a single thought of peace or an act of kindness or a single person committed to a positive change can make a difference in the world around them. As we celebrate our 50 years of service in Trinidad and Tobago, it's therefore fitting that we begin this milestone celebration with a candle lighting ceremony, a symbolic expression of our shared aspiration of peace, unity, compassion, and spiritual progress. To do that, I'm going to hand you over to Sister Jasmine, who is the president of the Brahma Kumaris Raj Yoga Center in Trinidad, to take us through this candle lighting ceremony, and she'll be joined by our special guest and other sisters from across the Caribbean. Let's welcome Sister Jasmine.
Good evening. It is indeed a pleasure to be here with you and for you to be with us. It is definitely a very great time, auspicious time, a milestone to celebrate. And we from the Caribbean will be acknowledging our sisters who are from various centers and who have dedicated their life to the service of mankind. And we can pause with one moment. As I call the names of the sisters, they will bring their candle in to light up the lives of the people of the Caribbean and the world at large. We have Sister Rota Grun from Aruba, Iris Nivelak from Curacao, Renushka Mirai from Suriname, Sister Nandi Elizabeth Mahadev from Guyana, Sister Payal from Antigua, Alana Aki from St. Kitts, and Mary from St. Lucia. It is a great honor to have with us one of the pioneers of the Caribbean, and that is our dear sister Himlata, who is the spiritual head of the Brahma Kumaris in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, as well as the sub-regional coordinator for the Caribbean centers. Sister Himlata was born in Hyderabad, India. She came from a very religious background and has always been keen in serving people of all walks of life. She studied as a medical doctor, but was so called to dedicate her life for spiritual medicine to improve the lives of the people and the minds of the people of this part of the world. In 1976, she traveled to the foreign countries, and later that same year dedicated her life to moral and spiritual development of mankind and surrendered as a Raja Yoga teacher in Georgetown, Guyana, where she lived for 3 years. In May 1979, she came to Trinidad and Tobago, where she is now a resident. Based in Trinidad, she is the spiritual head, and she has been serving people of all walks of life. She has been awarded a national award, the Medal for Development of Women in our community. Sister Himlata, as affectionately known, has been a tower of hope and inspiration to many. Her dedication and commitment to the service of humanity has led her to quench the hearts and minds of all troubled people all over the world. Sister Himlata has been the mother figure for us as center residents, and she has been sustaining us spiritually for many, many years. I now ask Sister Himlata to kindly give greetings at this moment.
Greeting of peace and happiness to all of you and the country.
At this moment, it was a time when a very interesting and auspicious moment came to us in this part of the world. And it was the time when there was a call for a new spiritual renaissance to change the minds of the way people think. There was a need. And so we had our most senior sister, who is from India, originally based in London, serving across Europe. And to mark this auspicious moment, we are honored to host our sister, Jayanti Kapulani, who is the additional administrative head of the Brahma Kumaris, the world's largest spiritual organization led by women. Sister Jayanti is a spiritual teacher, much sought after, international public speaker, author, and visionary leader, guided by values and principles. She embodies a unique blend of Western wisdom, of Eastern wisdom, and Western education and culture, imparting the deepest and spiritual truths with utmost clarity. Her prominent speaking themes include leadership, women's empowerment, health and well-being, racial harmony, interreligious friendship, and global peace. Sister Jayanti is an advocate for environmental and climate change, to which she is our UN representative in Geneva. Known for her deep compassion and tireless commitment to the spiritual dimension of life, Her clarity, simplicity, and warmth have inspired millions across the globe to empower themselves and to make positive changes in their own lives. We have had Sister Jayanti here since the 16th night, and today is the 18th. Her presence has made such a difference. If you see her eyes, you will feel the depth of spirituality. When you hear her words, you will feel the wisdom embedded in your hearts. And this is the time we will have Sister Jayanti sharing with us on the theme, this theme, one light, one destiny. So let's look forward to being here and embody ourselves in this spiritual feeling that will sustain us and will guide us throughout our journey in life. I thank you.
Thank you, Sister Jasmine, and all these esteemed sisters across the Caribbean, and our very special Didi Sister Jayanti. So I would ask the sisters to exit the stage, and there will be someone to take the candles from you. And I would also ask Sister Didi Jayanti to take her seat at that far. Yes. Thank you. So did you feel like you've lit a candle within your own life? That there was some illumination that happens as well while we are doing our lighting of the candle for these 50 years. I hope that it has brought some light as well for you. Music has a unique ability to touch the heart, uplift the spirit, and bring people together. Our next performer is no stranger to Trinidad and Tobago. He is a respected singer-songwriter whose musical journey has spanned more than 3 decades. Through his music, he's entertained audiences locally and internationally, and has shared the stage and actually opened for several renowned international artists visiting here. This evening, we are delighted to welcome a performer whose voice and music continue to inspire and connect with audiences across generations. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming Mr. Joel John, who will sing for us Imagine, while we also imagine that beautiful world that we can create together. Let's welcome Mr. Joel John.
Good evening, everybody. Imagine there's no heaven. I wonder if you can. No hell below us. Brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine all possessions I wonder if you can. Nothing to kill or die for. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people living a life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope one day you'll join us, and the world would live as one. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. No need for greed or hunger, and no religion too. Imagine all the people sharing all the wealth. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world would live as one. Very much.
Thank you very much, Joel John. I hope that we're not only imagining, but we're also helping to create that better world. We are very delighted to have with us the additional administrative head of the Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University, Sister Didi Jayanti, who will share some inspirations and her thoughts on this 50-year celebration. But I just want to highlight a couple things about the Brahma Kumaris so that you can have a context as to what I find is so fascinating about this organization. One, it is an organization primarily led by women. It is the largest spiritual organization in the world run by women. Two, this organization exemplifies volunteerism. People volunteer their time, their resources, and like our sisters, dedicate sometimes their entire lives, give their career, their home, their country, as Sister Hemlata has done for Trinidad, to run this organization. Third, everyone in the Brahma Kumaris is a student, no matter who you are or what position you hold. And fourth, the values that are championed by this organization, purity, simplicity, self-discipline, vegetarianism, those are not the most popular mass appeal items, yet this organization is across 110 plus countries. And last of all our services are offered free of charge, rooted in that deep faith in the intrinsic goodness of humanity. If we're doing good, humanity will support it. And in that background, we have someone like Sister Jayanti who has played this leadership role, this inspiration for all of us, who's demonstrated those values. And we are so honored to have her here for our 50 years of anniversary as another example of a woman-led organization leading spirituality across the world. I would like to ask you to put your hands together to welcome Sister Jayanti, who will share with us for about 20 minutes or so her thoughts, and then we will have an interesting interview with her. So let's welcome her warmly to Trinidad and to share her thoughts. And also, in honor of her presence here, can we just spend another 10 seconds or so just in silent reflection before she shares her thoughts? Thank you very much.
Thank you for that warm introduction, and a greeting of peace to all my sisters and my brothers. Om Shanti. I think many of you are familiar with this very sweet sound of Om Shanti, and perhaps you would like to say it all together. Om. Thank you. It's wonderful to be here. I have been to Trinidad in between many times, but I remember very well the time I landed in December 1975, firstly in Guyana and then towards the end of the month here in Trinidad. And we were received by many different people very warmly. I think it was a little bit strange for them to see a woman teacher, because until then they'd only had men coming from India sharing spiritual knowledge, and so it was, I think, a little bit of a unique story. But very soon things got very formalized and grounded, and I don't need to repeat the history, but it's beautiful to see how much has happened in these 50 years. How many thousands of people have been touched by the power of meditation, and whether they come to the center or they don't, perhaps they continue with their practice of meditation in their own homes. I meet young men, young women who tell me that they used to come with their grannies. The granny would come to the center and they would trot along with her. And so many families who I don't know, but through the years, multi-thousands must have been touched by these ideas. And you saw a little of the history of the Brahma Kumaris. One man and his vision started all of this. In fact, generally, when things begin, it takes just one individual, and that one individual is to make so much difference, is able to do so much for the world. Brahma Baba was one such individual. And of course our name, Brahma Kumaris and Kumaris. Brahma has sons Kumaris and daughters Kumaris, but the sons, as you heard, also prefer that the Kumaris are out there in front. This is because Brahma Baba had a vision of a beautiful world, a world in which there was love and truth and justice and peace, plus all the material comforts and the scientific developments you would like to think about. He had a question, having seen this vision of this beautiful world. The question was, but how can this come about? And he also heard a voice say to him that you have to be the instrument for such a world. And he said, I don't know where to begin. I wasn't told how. I was told that I have to do this, but I don't know how. And so he spent several hours over the next several days just reflecting and pondering, well, how was this to happen? How could you make it happen? And he began to gradually understand that the way a better world could come about would be through better people. It's people who make up the world, not just the buildings and all the other things that we've accumulated through the years, but it's the people. And again, the question, well, how can people change and become better people? And what came to him was education, but a different type of education that was already on offer. These were the visions in 1936. And he also had a vision of himself and his own perfect state of being. Education, spiritual education, that had to be the answer. It couldn't be just the education that was already available, but an education that will help people understand deeply, and through that profound understanding, bring about changes in their own lives, so that as they changed, others would be inspired and many others would change also. And so it was with that vision that the Brahma Kumaris started. And today, my own sense is that what we are seeing on the one side is the darkness, but on the other side, we are also seeing so many people turn to spirituality, turn to meditation in a way that I didn't know could happen 50 years ago, certainly. I knew that whatever were the visions Baba had would definitely take on a practical form, but I didn't know the practical details of how all of this would evolve. But through changes in one teaching another, and here we are today. And so, what are these teachings that bring about this transformation? Well, the theme that they've chosen here tells you the theme of the one light, and two aspects of this in particular. Throughout the ages, people have remembered the Supreme, the Source, the one who is the highest on high, different names, but they've understood that that being who is the Supreme, the highest of all, they've had visions, and the visions have been a form of light. And so throughout history, mystics and scholars have been trying to understand what is this light, the Supreme Light. And it's only when the Supreme Being himself decides to share that information with us at a time when we need it the most, are we able to understand. But also, the other big question that people have had through the ages is, well, who am I? Today we talk about identity crisis, but I think more that's related to external factors of identity. But the identity crisis that has been part of the inner personality of each human being has been the subject of the inner being. What is this thing called consciousness? How can I understand it more? What can I understand about myself and my own personality? These are the sorts of questions that people have had through millennia. And at this moment, when we see that there are two separate energies, the energy of darkness, but also the energy of light. Throughout the world, there are gatherings such as this, where people are exploring these ideas. Earlier days, we wouldn't be able to think about hundreds of people coming together to understand the depth of meditation, but today it happens. And so people are trying to understand these two aspects of light. The light within the self, the light of consciousness, and the light up above, the Supreme, the one who is the Source. And in very simple language, I would like to explain a little bit about these both, and how understanding these two things actually creates our destiny. And the destiny is also one destiny, one light, the supreme, the parent of all of us, and so one family. On one level, we understand that we are a family, not just a family in Trinidad and Tobago, but we're part of a global family. We know that there's more that unites us than divides us, and so it's important to focus on things that do unite us. The one thing that absolutely unites us together is this inner being, the being that I am, consciousness, which is an energy that is luminous, a point of light in the center of the forehead. And every single human being is a soul, that being of consciousness, of light. And the qualities of the soul is actually what unites us together. The quality of peace, of love, of truth, of joy, of purity. These are the 5 essential qualities of every human soul. No difference between form in terms of gender or color or age or nationality or religion or anything. We had a research project some time ago, and we were asking people for their visions of a better world and the better self and so on. But one particular vision that came from Africa touched me deeply at that time, and I've never forgotten it. And it went something like this: the color of our skin may be different, but the color of our blood, sweat, and tears is the same. So the skin is just 1/16 of an inch deep. But below, everything that's there under the skin, it's the same. But going deeper within the self, not only are these physical aspects of blood, sweat, and tears the same, but the original qualities of every human soul are the same. And so that is a cause for celebration. We celebrate the fact that we all belong to one family. We celebrate the fact that goodness is inherent in every human soul, and we share those same qualities of goodness, whichever land we may belong to. And as we connect with the Source, the Supreme, through that connection, we're truly able to feel the connection here also. We heard this beautiful song and a very beautiful rendition tonight, Imagine. Well, just imagine if instead of looking at you from the physical perspective, if I were to see you as that inner being, that being of light, would it make a difference? From my personal experience, I can say yes, definitely. When we put people into different boxes, we do so because of the external form that we are seeing. But when I see each one of you as shining stars, stars of light, then I see connection, and I see relationship, then I see truth and beauty in each one. And so my vision, my perception, my attitude, my behavior, all of that goes through a change. And if there's anything I want you to carry away tonight from all the things that you're going to hear and you've heard already, I hope it will be this, that you can feel and see yourself, visualize yourself as that inner being of light. Tonight, when you look into the mirror before you go to bed, just see the being that I am, the inner being. But also, holding that vision of yourself will allow you to see others with that same consciousness of that inner being. And yes, I've mentioned the original beauty of the soul, and that's absolutely true. But the thing that's happened is that when I forget I am this inner being, and the material world with all its amazing, beautiful distractions pulls me away from the awareness of the self, then of course I get caught up in matter. And the materialistic view of life is one in which we forget about the spiritual being, the eternal being. And when I'm caught up in the physical side, the material side, it means that I lose contact with the qualities that I carry within my own inner world, the qualities that I mentioned earlier. Even 100 years ago, we would say that when there's a relationship between man and woman, it's a relationship for life. I know that when my parents married in the 40s, they again felt the same thing, and they were together till one of them passed away, and the other one was on a spiritual path also. Both my parents were on a spiritual journey, and so even when my mother left, my father continued his spiritual journey, and yes, they were together. Today, when we strike up a relationship, can we say that yes, it's going to be a relationship that lasts till the end of the days? Who knows? Maybe, but maybe not. I'm thinking about relationships in the context of love, and where we're looking for love outside in so many different ways, and yet we're not finding the sort of unconditional, non-judgmental love that we're looking for. Can I look in a different way? Can I first of all look inside and see what's going on inside of me? Do I love myself? And if I don't love myself, what's going to be the possibility of me being able to love another? Well, you can see what's happened. There used to be a time when every family spent a little bit of time together, maybe in prayer, maybe in lighting a candle, doing something that would hold them together. And today, I don't know many families that begin the day together with sharing something of a spiritual nature, or even coming together at night and sharing a few minutes together, talking about higher aspects of life rather than just the bills to be paid, the people to meet, the shopping to be done, all of these things. Yes, all of those things are absolutely vital for human life, but not to the point where they take over my consciousness completely, in which then there's no space for me to think about the inner being or the qualities of the inner being. This is why we look for love and we don't find it. This is why we look for peace, and peace seems to fly further and further away. We're not looking in the right place. Peace is within, love is within, and when I decide to go on that inner journey and experience the peace that does lie within, yes, then I can say, I can love another. If I don't learn to love myself, all the patches and warts and all the ups and downs that I know I have within myself, that I am who I am, and I can start loving myself when I know that the original qualities of goodness are still within me, the treasure is still there, and I just have to learn to be able to uncover it and express it. The good book says, love thy neighbor as you would love yourself. It told us. And why I don't love my neighbor? My answer is there in the same sentence. We don't love ourselves. And so learning to love myself comes when I go on this inner journey of spirituality and I connect with the being that I am. But how do I allow these qualities to surface and be expressed? When I connect with the source, the being of light, the supreme, and in that connection I'm able to truly feel how those qualities are allowed to emerge. Whatever else it is that had covered them up, had blocked them, all those qualities emerge, and I can feel those qualities within myself. So the connection of my consciousness, the being that I am, connected with the source, means that, for example, the peace that comes from above allows the peace within me that has been forgotten to again be uncovered and emerge, and I can start feeling peace within my own world. But also, as I continue to stay connected, more and more comes to me, and I'm able to experience that in my life. And the beautiful thing is that as I change, the world around me begins to change. I know this to be true from my own experience. If I have negative traits, my vision will see the negativity in others. When I learn to see myself with that vision of that original goodness, and I see the original goodness in the other, then that becomes expressed more and more. It's a very simple experiment to try. You stay here and see others with that same vision. When the lights come on and you can see each other, at the moment you can't, but when you can, just see them as beings of light. And then the connection with that supreme light holds us together in a warm embrace, because we're beginning to recognize that we're one family, not separate, but one. And as we begin to work together, that's how we'll move towards our destiny, the one destiny in which it is a better world, in which truly there can be a world of harmony and peace, and not just amongst humans, but the vibration that we generate is such that there'll be harmony between humans and the animal kingdom, within the animal kingdom, but also harmony between humans and the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom. Imagine that world in which truly everyone is at peace with themselves, content with themselves, and so they're able to give contentment to each other. And it's not difficult. Press the button and it'll all begin to happen. It can happen just with a very simple introduction in which you can understand what's going on within the self and be able to transform what's going on, so that then it's able to uplift your life and make your life a much sweeter experience than it may be already. I hope that your life is already sweet, but it can become even sweeter. And if perchance it isn't as sweet as you would like it to be, well, here's a chance to make a difference and move in that direction. And it takes all of us together to make such a world happen. And as we begin to do this in our own personal life and journey, so we inform others through our behavior, we influence them with our behavior, and together that vision can become a reality for all of us. let me stop here and see what's next.
Thank you, Didi. I'm next, just for a short time. Thank you for sharing that. I think, when you listen to Sister Jayanti, it certainly takes you into that reflective mode and really touches you. Thank you so much for that. We are going to go into a little bit of getting to know more of what inspires her. And so through interview session, we would like to thank Sister Hemlata for being with us for this segment, and we'll ask someone to help Sister Hemlata to the backstage. So let's give Sister Hemlata a big round of applause. For Trinidad and the Caribbean, she has been the main instrument, left her country to come here, establish what's happened in Trinidad, and then from here to the Caribbean. Sister, we salute you and we thank you for your service. Before we get into the interview panel, we had a little video presentation about Sister Jayanti that I would just like to play now, and then I'll invite the panelists up. It's so nice to see some lights, and I can see some of you. What a wonderful sight.
The Brahma Kumaris is a worldwide organization dedicated to personal transformation and world renewal through the power of meditation. The Brahma Kumaris is a spiritual movement.
At the heart of this global movement stands Sister Jayanti, whose clarity, warmth, and deep commitment to spiritual values have touched millions of lives. Sister Jayanti was born in Pune and was brought up in a traditional Indian family. When she was 8 years old, the family moved to London, where she completed her education. This is where her journey began. Inspired by her mother's courage to follow the path of the Brahma Kumaris and guided by the wisdom of Dadi Janki, Sister Jayanti embraced spirituality as the foundation of her life. She sees herself as an instrument to clarify the teachings of the East to those in the West. She went on to serve as Dadi Janki's translator as centers in the UK were established. Over time, she grew into an extraordinary spiritual ambassador, author of more than a dozen books, an inspiring public speaker, and a mentor for countless students. Her work with the United Nations has been groundbreaking. The Brahma Kumaris received 7 Peace Messenger Awards for their Million Minutes of Peace project. Today, the organization holds general consultative status with the United Nations Economic and Social Council, the highest status granted to NGOs. Always rooted in the vision of a world anchored in spiritual principles and shared humanity, Sister Jayanti continues to champion critical global causes from peace building to climate change. Known for her compassion, simplicity, and wisdom, Sister Jayanti inspires us to look within, to find peace in our own hearts, and to use that peace to transform our world.
Thank you for that and your attention. So we get into our interview session, and I'm going to invite on stage our moderators, panelists, interviewers. So let me invite and say Steve Sanka. So he's the founder of the Professional Coach Steve, an executive leadership and mindset coach who supports individuals, leaders, and organizations in achieving meaningful and sustainable transformation. With over 20 years of leadership experience, more than a decade of Raj Yoga meditation practice, and as a dedicated Brahma Kumar volunteer, Steve brings a blend of professional expertise, personal insight, and spiritual understanding to this conversation. Let's welcome Steve. And let me welcome Aaron Kurbanali. He's been practicing meditation for the past 30 years. Let's just take a look at him. Can you guess what age he started meditating? Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, somebody knew. You're cheating. 5 years old when he came to Raj Yoga. He's now an attorney at law for the past 10 years. And with his own private practice, having done his LLB with the University of London, commercial dispute resolution with the University of Westminster. Good luck, Sister Jayanti, with the interview. He is also the head cricket coach at St. Mary's College and the Josh Da Silva Cricket Academy, overseeing the holistic development of over 200 children. So we have quite an esteemed panel here. So we welcome them to help us get a little more insights from Sister Jayanti.
Thank you, Brother Anand. And good evening to everyone. Firstly, thank you, Sister Jayanti, for coming to Trinidad. It's been, I know the amount of spiritual wisdom. I didn't want you to stop just now. And I know personally you've helped me as well with a lot of spiritual wisdom that you shared. The first question, and I'm going to talk from the Trinidadian point of view. And we, in the country now, we were on a program with the TV station, CNC3. And we did an interview, and the interviewer told us, he's feeling so tense. There's a lot of tension in the country at this point in time. What are some of the coping mechanisms that you could give to us to help us cope with that type of tension now?
There can be many, many factors that cause tension. And I know that one thing that's happening worldwide is the uncertainty of our times, and how one moment we're right in the middle of a war, and then the next moment we're told there's going to be peace, and this has happened now, fluctuating back and forth for quite a while. And so when there's this sort of uncertainty, then you don't know how to manage things as well as you could. The other uncertainty, of course, is the economic situation, and trying to tighten our belts and manage with less. And that's not just in some countries, but it seems to be prevalent universally. Climate change, that's another factor for tension. So I think the tension exists in a big way everywhere. And yes, I can imagine here also. I haven't stayed here for too long to understand how and why, but I can see that it's part of the same story. And the way to deal with tension is to be able to look at things from a different perspective. And I'm not just talking about positive thinking. You've heard the example of a glass half full or half empty. And it changes your attitude a lot if you think it's half full. And if you think it's already half empty, what's going to happen now? But I'm thinking about looking at situations from a spiritual perspective and trying to understand what's going on, and can I do something to make things better for myself and for others. I'll give you an example. here's a person who seems to be causing a lot of stress within my work colleagues, and I think all of us have been in that situation where one person seems to be causing a lot of stress for others. Well, instead of thinking about just that one factor that's a bit irritating, can I look at the dozen good qualities of that human being? And probably if I change my attitude and my vision towards them, I'll be able to identify many qualities that I myself don't have, but they have. And so maybe that can reduce the way in which I feel about them. The tension can go, and I can start appreciating them. And when they feel my vibrations of appreciation, then they are likely to come closer. Otherwise, my vision of them just with that irritant, it creates such a tension and such a chasm between us. It's difficult to work together. But changing my vision and my attitude, perhaps things can change. And in terms of the world situation, and I believe that we're moving in the direction of a better world. I think we've reached a period in which there's been darkness, but beyond that, I know that darkness doesn't last forever. The dark night, a child might think that, I wonder how long this darkness is going to carry on, and maybe it's forever. But the adult knows that, no, it's not forever. The night will finish and the day will begin. So I think that this awareness also, from a spiritual perspective, that we've gone through a long period of darkness and negativity, but there's a better world ahead. But we have to make it happen. We can come together and do something.
Thank you.
Sister Jayanti, so, in my field of work, I often find stress, anxiety, and depression. I refer to them as three cousins who always go out together. And, we are all pandemic survivors. And it's often said that triggers, we say that there are stress triggers, but I've heard triggers described as unhealed wounds. So I wonder, based on your experience and your wisdom, looking through the eyes of spirituality, what's really happening to us? That stress, anxiety, and depression seem to be omnipresent.
And more so since COVID times. Maybe it was there already, but I think it's been exacerbated by COVID. And also the other thing is that people are now more willing to acknowledge it and talk about it. And so we're wanting to address it in some form. I think that the inner capacity of the human being has reduced considerably. I know that there would be a time when we didn't have electricity and people managed well. And yes, we managed better with electricity. But if, for example, the electricity goes off for whatever reason, can I still keep my own sanity and stability instead of being thrown off course by it? And so I think that it's possible to generate a different type of energy, a spiritual energy within myself that gives me increased capacity and the power to deal with the ups and downs of life. And anxiety, I look back at the past and I keep looking back to it, and I worry about the future. I'm not spending any time in the present, seeing the opportunities that the present offers me and some way in which to be able to strengthen myself and take those opportunities. The past holds me in thrall, and the future is something that I worry about, I'm scared of even maybe. But if I were to do what I need to do today and have the right awareness, the thinking changes, the words, the quality, the tone of words change, but also my actions change. And those are the seeds of the future. And if I'm not willing to do that, there isn't a future. But what I do today is going to create the future that I would like to have. So I need that guidance from spiritual knowledge about what it is I need to do about myself in order to bring about change. And I'm not talking about psychological change in that sense, but really a deep understanding of, I'll use this word karma, and the word karma just simply means action, but it refers to the fact that as you sow, so shall you reap. If you're going to sow a lemon tree, don't expect sweet mangoes. What are you going to get? And so I have to learn to sow the right seeds through my thoughts, my words, and my actions today, and that will remove all the anxiety. I know that the future is taken care of by the good that I do today. And in terms of the past, where my mind is trapped in a vicious circle and the same thoughts keep coming back again and again, when you have the same thought repeat more than twice, you know that you're caught in that trap of overthinking, and it's important to be able to deal with it and learn to forgive yourself from the mistakes that you've made, but also seek forgiveness from others who you have erred against, but also where others have made mistakes against me, and I still hold that in my heart. I'm never going to be free from the spinning that's going on in the mind. And so having the humility to seek forgiveness and having the generosity of spirit and heart to be able to forgive others their mistakes, and I think I can say to myself, well, the past has been dealt with, and I can then move on. And so I'm just seeing how spiritual teachings from many, many different traditions can give us guidance to help us with these present problems.
Thank you.
So, Sister Janti, I hear what you're saying in that respect. And for me, I mean, I've been practicing meditation since I was a child. It's been easy for me sometimes to do it. Sometimes actually it hasn't been. And I mean, in my field of work with law, but also coaching as well, it's sometimes hard to stay positive when you interact with so many people and there's a lot of negativity that also comes. There's also a lot of negativity, of course, through social media that comes as well. And I've also seen with children as well, even adults and the parents as well that dealt with clients as well. It's hard for them to stay positive. It's always negative first. It's always, okay, this is, they're always seeing the negative. And I mean, for me, because I guess of my practice, it's been easy for me to stay positive in negative situations. Well, how could we stay positive? What could we do? Or what could you advise them to do to stay positive in situations that keep coming up?
One of the reasons why there is so much negativity is because we see how the spiritual power of the soul has been lost, generally speaking. There are a few examples where we can say that people really have been able to stand up and do something else, but generally there's a huge amount of negativity. And the things that seem to be of primary importance today are things like money, position, power. And so it's the weakness of human nature. I mentioned the beautiful qualities, and I still want to underline those, that everyone has those. But what's rampant today is ego and anger and greed. And I think probably if you were to reflect on the state of the world, again, you'd see that this is the general condition. And so that's why there's this huge negativity and darkness. And if you're coming down a roller coaster It's very fast and it doesn't take any extra energy, just gravity pulls it down. But when you're trying to go up, then at that moment, the car doesn't go up automatically. It needs extra energy. So you need an engine to carry it to the top. And so that's what's going on now. The huge negativity trying to pull us down, not just from one or two individuals, but generally speaking. But also there's the other energy that's now beginning to take more and more strength and gather more and more force. And so I can have a choice. Which way am I going to go? Am I going to be part of the car that's going down? Or am I going to say, stop, I want to go the other way? And in that case, I need help. I need help from the source. And so if every day, just like you remember to charge the battery of your phone, and if you don't, it's not going to work. But if I can make a little bit of time in which I connect with the divine and draw that power within myself, then I can protect myself from the influence of negativity. But what I must do is bring about that change within my own inner consciousness so that my own ego and desires and greed and so forth don't take over. And so my first job is inside, and then secondly, to protect myself from the influences out there, the connection with the divine.
And just to follow up, okay, so there's the negativity that comes towards you. How do you protect yourself?
Should we have an experiment? I'm not going to throw stones. No, I'm going to show you something that I use myself, and that is to be able to go on that inner journey and change. Just sit comfortably as you are, both feet on the ground. You don't have to sit on the floor or cross your legs or anything, but just let the body sit balanced. And I'm going to share my own thoughts in reflection, and I invite you to follow these ideas. I decide to go inside my own inner world, the world of my thoughts and feelings, my memories and personality, everything that is part of my consciousness, the inner being, the being that I am. And when I do this, just simply looking at my thoughts, I realize that the thoughts slow down. And I come to the awareness that I am a being of light. I am a being of peace. And in this awareness, I discover the presence of the divine. Earlier, when my mind was engaged with the material world, my connection was just here. But now, in the awareness of the consciousness that I am, the inner being, I become aware of a different aspect of reality, the presence of the divine. The power of love from the divine reaches the soul. And this pure love is able to heal the soul. as I fill myself with this love, the wounds of the past are healed. My heart begins to open up. And filled with the love from the source, I can let go. I can forgive. The power of love from the divine reminds me that I have to learn to forgive myself also. There are many things that I should not have done, but now, with deep realization, God's love forgives me, and I learn to forgive myself. But I also remember that I mustn't allow old habits to take over again. And the power of pure love gives me the determination to make change happen. This love inspires me, encourages me, empowers me. And the power of this love reaches out to the entire human family. It's available like the sunshine for each and every individual. Transformed by this power of love, I'm able to send out pure love to all those who I know and others who I don't, so that the love brings us together as one family. Keeping this awareness with me, I come back to the moment here and now. Om Shanti. When I connect with the divine, that love protects me from any other influences from outside.
Thank you. I think we all feel protected now. I could feel the energy change. Steve, I know we had an agreement that we would interchange questions, but just to follow up on this and the protection that, I felt it. I know it's something I've practiced as well at certain times. Is it, and you spoke about loving ourselves. So just apart from this, is there anything else that we could do to increase that love for ourselves? Apart from taking from the divine, is it, I know of course he is the divine and you get everything, and we may not be able to connect every day. We may not be able to, in certain situations, to remember at least to connect or take that time out. But is there anything else that we could do while at work, or when a client comes and is bossy and angry, and your mind doesn't even go towards towards God? Is there anything else that we could do at that point in time?
One of the things that I found is that the more I'm able to develop my own self-respect, the greater the dignity I have. And even if somebody else is angry, then there aren't the trigger points, but I'm able to maintain my dignity. And because I'm respecting myself, however their behavior might be, I can treat them with respect and not let go of that. And so if you keep doing this consistently, then definitely their behavior changes. Normally what happens is, here's an angry person, and it's fixed in my mind that it's not nice. What they're doing is really not nice at all. And so they're catching that vibration. And also I'm now thinking about, what can I say back to them? So they said 5 words, I at least need to say 2 or 3. And so I'm already preparing my answer, and I'm going back to them. And that reactivity then means that the anger can never end. But if my response is completely different, then maybe out of shock, I'll just stop for a moment and wonder what's going on. But this is what I need to do, break that chain of action and reaction, and make sure that I maintain dignity and respect for myself, and treat the other with respect also. So I think we can all learn to do that. It's practice, and there are 3 things. Practice, and the second one, it also begins with P. Practice. And the third one, practice. And if you keep doing that, then it becomes more and more easy, but also more and more natural.
Well, I think I could relate to that, because that's what I tell all the kids I coach. You have to keep practicing, you have to keep going at it, you have to keep going. And yeah, it's amazing, because sometimes you teach them something one week, and the next week you come back to teach them, and it's like you never taught them anything at all. And I have to keep encouraging them, you don't need to do this every day, at least an hour or so. So no, I could totally relate to that, because the practice is really important.
And it's easier to teach others than to teach myself.
Definitely.
Thank you for the opportunity, Aaron. Sister Jayanti, in the business world, leadership, a recurring theme globally and locally here is burnout. So the leaders in organizations, management teams, there is so much. These people not only deal with the complex world in their personal lives. We know homes can be battlegrounds, not only harmonious places, and then come to work, and there are so many challenges. And whilst, the information you were sharing a short while ago, the technique, the awareness, we understand how it can apply to all of us here and all of humanity. Oftentimes, leaders don't think of themselves that way when they get to work. And I know here, I've seen many people here who are leaders in different areas of life. What advice would you give for people in leadership roles, not only to survive and cope, but to thrive, given the challenges that we all face today?
Try changing your glasses. And what I mean by that is that when I'm looking out from the materialistic perspective, then I see big challenges that maybe I can deal with, maybe I can't deal with. And if I haven't learned to look after myself, then I'm never going to be able to deal with anything. But also, my burnout condition is going to create many problems for others also. And so for myself, but also for the sake of my family and even my work colleagues, I need to be able to take care of myself. And if you were to ask most people, what is it that's a priority, they'll say the output. And then they'll say maybe relationships. And that's it. They'll talk about this. But in fact, we've turned everything topsy-turvy, because what I need to do, the foundation has to be my own well-being. If I don't give attention to myself and I don't recharge my own inner battery and develop my own spiritual capacity and resilience and so forth, then I'm of no use to anyone else. Think about how people react when they're tired, and the soul is tired at this present time because we've set aside spirituality from our lives and we've just focused on the material side. And so in that inner state of exhaustion, then the things that I say, the things that I do aren't very helpful. And so then relationships go wrong also. But if I've been able to spend a little bit of time for myself each morning, prayer, meditation, silence, what you will, and also some spiritual nourishment for the soul. If I'm doing the things I always do and it's not working out, can I change and do things I didn't do? So instead of switching on my phone first thing, can I open up a spiritual text, something that's going to be uplifting, something that's going to be reminding me of the basic truths of life? And so that would make a difference. And so first step, me. And that's not selfish, that's just sensible. Next step, relationships. We've forgotten about investing quality time in relationships. We get the work done with colleagues, but am I willing to spend 10-15 minutes during my coffee break or lunch hour just having a personal chat about how things are going with them and how is family and so on? It makes a big difference to know that somebody else is interested in your family, somebody else wants to know how you're doing. And so the work that's going to happen when there's an atmosphere of harmony and companionship within colleagues, then teamwork works out, as you know. But it only happens when there's harmony amongst the team. And where there isn't that, it's because there hasn't been time invested and given to each other in that way. Family, again, the same. If I'm just going to say I'm busy, and I'm not giving time to my family, well, the quality of support and cooperation that my family can give me when I need it the most isn't going to be available, because again, I haven't invested that time. And so, me time, and then relationships, family, work, everywhere, and then the output, the result, is going to be what I would like to see happen. Otherwise, I'm wanting the result, but I'm not willing to do the work to get there. And so I think that we need to revise our understanding of what life is about. And then, yes, life will be filled with a lot of joy and sweetness.
Thank you very much.
I'll give you another chance if you want, but I do have another question. You okay? It's interesting, Sister Janti, that you brought up this topic because it's something that I actually wanted to ask you about, and it's about the identity crisis that you spoke about. And I see it a lot with youth, children, of course, even adults. And of course, I think social media has a big part to play in it. But what you're speaking about with the first thing we might do when we wake up is we look at our phones. when we look to see who messages us, or if we had a missed call or what, we go straight to YouTube or all these social media apps, and we look at these things. And I've seen it for myself, where I'm so glad I'm not growing up in this age, because they're so. I've looked at the kids, of course, that I coach, and they're totally engrossed in that. They can't communicate with each other as well. It's very hard for them. I coach even 4-year-olds, 4 to 6-year-olds, and I know the parents are so happy to just give me them for an hour to just play. But as soon as they finish, they go straight back to the iPad. They go straight back to the phone. I mean, I've thought about it a lot. I haven't gotten the answer yet. But what could we do to help, and what could we do to overcome that? Because and it's not just for the children, but for us as well. What could we do to get back and get people back their identity?
I think that once there's a curiosity about what's going on in the world and what's going on in me, that becomes the first step to finding out more about these ideas. We have such a beautiful gathering here. What was it that triggered you to come? Must have been the feeling that, okay, let me find out what's going on, a curiosity. For me, that's how it started. And so when there's a curiosity, then I follow it through and I find out, then I understand what's going to be helpful for me and what is it that's not helpful for me. I mentioned about the early morning and the help for the self through that, but also what is the company that I'm keeping? And I mean not just physical company, but television, movies on my phone, or whichever device it is I'm using. What is the impact of all of these things on my consciousness? Is it going to be something that after an hour and 90 minutes of watching something, do I feel uplifted? Do I feel clearer? Do I feel happier? And if it's not, I can't tick any of those boxes, or not all of them, but not even some of them, what was the point? My time is precious. How do I want to use my time? Am I going to fill myself with inspiration, or am I going to fill myself with things that are going to drain me of my energy? Last thing at night, what is it that I do? Am I still on my phone and seeing videos that maybe have some violence? And today so much is violent. Advertisements sometimes are quite violent. The cartoons, I know animation gets more and more sophisticated all the time, but the cartoons that children see, that adults see, how much of it is uplifting and how much of it is beating up the other? Tom and Jerry, and even something as simple as that, innocent, we'd say innocent, but in fact, every image I see, especially things of violence, stays in my consciousness and is going to disturb my sleep, definitely. And so can I, again, not just the morning hours, but the evening hours, can I find a way to relax, find a way to meditate, find a way to read something which again is beautiful, so that my mind is calmer before I try to go to sleep.
The World Cup is okay though, right? Watching the World Cup is football. That's fine. I might have to delete my Netflix account now. But I think, unfortunately, our time is up. And we have to leave, unfortunately. I mean, this conversation could have gone on. There's a lot more questions I had, and I'm sure, Steve, I'm sorry, I didn't give you enough time.
Forgiven.
But thank you again, Sister Janti, for the wisdom.
Do we have 2 more minutes?
I
Three more minutes?
I'm sure they could give us that. Yeah, sure.
Because maybe we could close with another meditation. Sitting comfortably, I visualize the inner being, the spark of light that I am. I connect with the light of the Supreme. And now I absorb within myself the power of joy, drawing from the source. I fill myself with joy, and I realize how this is one of the original qualities of the self. And the more I can feel joy that isn't dependent on situations and circumstances or possessions and property, but an inner joy that recognizes the fortune of life, an inner joy that stems from a deep sense of gratitude and appreciation of all that I have received from the Creator, from life, from those around me. And this joy becomes powerful and profound. And I know that my response to others is going to be filled with joy. And my hope is that as this joy spreads, it removes negativity and changes sorrow, so that human life becomes as it should be, an exchange of love and joy, staying connected with the divine, having filled myself with all the qualities that come from the source. I resolve to remind myself of who I am each day, and to check at night, how long did I stay in this awareness? I wish to keep this peace, love, and joy with myself at all times. I come back with this determined thought of keeping my awareness as it should be. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Sister Jayanti.
Thank you to both of you for very good questions.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Aaron. Aaron, you can leave now. Thank you, Didi, for that. And, reminding us about our phone use. And, you've been without or with your phones on silent for the past 2 hours. So I hope that has been useful for you to unplug. We would like to, have our wrap up this with one last performance celebration for our 50 years. And this is going to be no stranger to any one of you. Our next performer would be playing the steel pan, and I would ask Didi, yes, you sit there, thank you. It is a musical performance, so we had a little bit of musical chair. So this is, Joshua Reguelo, who is beloved, I know. Beloved throughout Trinidad and Tobago for his passion humility, and extraordinary talent. And he recently captured the hearts of our nation when he achieved the Guinness World Record for the longest marathon playing the steel pan. And we thought we would show you what that is like. No. No, it's not going to be a remarkable 31-hour performance, but we're going to showcase his talent, his musical excellence, his resilience, and so for the national instrument. We also dedicate this to Didi Jayanti, as this instrument, the steel pan, is a national instrument of Trinidad and Tobago, and it is considered the only musical invention, acoustic invention for the 20th century. So it's quite an accomplishment for, and just for her to understand, that instrument is originally made from a 55-barrel oil barrel. So we are very proud of this instrument. We are very proud of Mr. Regrello, who is going to perform for us Om Shanti Om. I'm glad that you like that song. It means I am a peaceful soul. So let's welcome Joshua Regrello on the pan.
Om Shanti.
Thank you, DDG, for gracing us with your presence. And what a wonderful way to bring the curtains down on this celebration. So I would just like to offer some words of thanks for this evening's program. Tonight has been more than just anniversary. It's been reflection, it's been celebration, it's been connection, it's brought all of us here together. We extend our deepest appreciation for our distinguished guests, for honoring us with their presence, for members of parliament who are here, members of the diplomatic corps, to Sister Jayanti, to Sister Himlata, to Sister Jasmine and the Brahma Kumaris family of Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you for your dedication in nurturing and sustaining. Thank you for your volunteerism. Thank you for your sacrifices. Let's give them a round of applause for the work that they've done. As part of that, I'd like to acknowledge the many brothers, the sisters, the volunteers, the supporters, our well-wishers, past and present, who's helped make this journey possible. You know who you are. We see you in the audience, all our friends. Thank you very much. To all the performers and presenters today, to Joshua Regrello, to Joel John, Nalini Akal, Rachel Lee, we had Aaron and Steve, and all the others who helped to make this program together, our sponsors, our partners, our technical team, Queen's Hall. Thank you all for such a memorable occasion. As we continue to celebrate our 50 years, we do so with gratitude for the past, appreciation for our present, and hope to the future. We'd like to thank all of you for coming, and may the values of peace, love, compassion, and service continue to guide us and inspire us for many generations to come. Thank you very much, and please hold your seat. We will have some photography taking place, and for the exit from this auditorium, you will follow the guidelines of the ushers, please, for the exit. So thank you very much, all of you, for coming and sharing your time and energy with us. Have a good evening. Thank you very much.